Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a look at some r/entitled parents. Gotta love them, haven't you? Not. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. So, first post by Kiss and Quiche says, the mum who demanded my boyfriend give up his seat on his own birthday dinner. So, my 22F boyfriend turned 23 last weekend, and we went to this small Italian place that's first come, first serve. It's one of those cozy spots where the tables are way too close together, so you can basically hear every conversation around you. Honestly, I quite love those kinds of places. I love to people watch and just see how people go about their day and observe how people go about their day. I don't know why, I've always just liked to do that. I don't know. For no reasons of like judging people or anything like that either. I just find the way people do stuff is interesting. So places like that where you can kind of earwig on a conversation a little bit as well. I must say I do enjoy it. Anyway, we finally get a table after waiting 30 minutes, order a bottle of wine, and this family walks in. Mum, dad, 2 kids, and a teenage boy who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. The hostess tells them that it'll be 25-minute wait. The mum immediately starts complaining that her kids are hungry, that it's ridiculous people are taking up big tables when they're just couples. I mean, take it up with the management then, love, because that's the way it goes. Like, if that's the way they want their restaurant to run, then that'd be it. Like, obviously, yeah, if I was there as a couple, I would try and, take only a 2-person table, but if there's only like bigger tables available, then obviously you're gonna have to take one of them, aren't you? She comes over, leans on our table and goes, "You two don't mind moving so my family can sit, right? You can wait a bit longer, you're young." I literally thought she was joking. My boyfriend laughed awkwardly and said, actually, it's my birthday." She goes, "Then you should be gentleman enough to offer your seat to a mother with hungry children." I mean, take your kids out earlier for food if they're that ravenous, love. I'm sure they can wait a little bit for a table. The waitress stepped in and told her that she can't ask people to give up tables. The mum rolled her eyes, huffed off, and whispered loud enough for us to hear, "People these days have no respect," says the one accosting people at their tables who are minding their business. Like, what? Her husband looked mortified. The rest of the night, she kept glaring over like we'd personally ruined her evening. So yeah, happy birthday, babe. Here's a free side of audacity. Lovely. Very nice. So then down in the comments, Lucis Abyssus says, "Well, the kids can wait even longer then. They're younger." And then Captain Lollygag says, if a kids are so hungry that they literally can't wait even 25 minutes to eat, they've got bigger problems. Yeah, definitely. Give them a snack, like just a little snack before going out if you think they're going to start kicking off or what have you. But I bet the kids were standing there, not being a problem whatsoever. And it was probably just the mum. Next post is going to be infuriating for any pet owners amongst us, I think, and was shared by Rose Mist Vow, titled, "Entitled Dad screamed at me because I wouldn't let his kid pet my dog, while my dog was wearing a do not pet vest. Clearly, someone's reading comprehension skills are slightly off, hey?" So, this happened yesterday while I was walking my rescue dog Luna. She's a 4-year-old shepherd mix, super smart and sweet with me, but she's nervous around strangers. I mean, same Luna. I feel you, my love, because yeah. Especially sudden movements or loud voices. I've been working with a trainer and she wears a bright red do not pet in training vest every time we go out. We were in a quiet neighbourhood park and Luna was sniffing the grass while we practiced recall. Out of nowhere, I hear this man say, "Go ahead, honey, go pet the dog." And this little girl, maybe 6, starts running straight towards Luna. Also, can we just point out that this dad is not teaching their kid any good lessons about stranger danger? Like, what the hell? I immediately said, "Please don't," and stepped in front of Luna. The dad rolls his eyes and goes, "She just wants to say hi. She loves dogs. Said dog could bite your kid. Have some brain cells." I said, "I'm sorry. She's not comfortable being touched." He scoffs and says, "You shouldn't bring her out in public if she's aggressive." At this point, Luna is just sitting behind me, calm but tense, tail tucked. I told him, she's not aggressive, she's in training. That's what the vest is for. Then he yells, she'll never get better if you don't let people pet her. You're the reason dogs end up mean. No, people that let people just randomly tug and pull and stroke at their dog when they don't want to be touched is what makes a mean dog. And also, lack of training is what makes a mean dog. Clearly, the OP is doing everything they should be doing. Like, what? I literally train her daily and take every precaution. I told him, I'm protecting both your kid and my dog. Please leave us alone. He threw his hands up and muttered something like, crazy dog people, and walked off while his daughter said, sorry. Wow, the 6-year-old has better social skills than the father. Although I must say I'm not surprised. The thing is, if my dog had reacted badly, he'd be the first one to demand she be put down. Exactly. People don't realise how dangerous it is to let kids run up to strange dogs, even friendly ones. Please, for the love of all things canine, teach your kids to ask before touching. 100%. And people, I find it just so odd how comfortable people are of just trying to touch things when they're out and about that are not theirs, or people, they try and touch people that haven't said that they can, or they'll try and touch your pet or your baby. I had that a few times when like mine were really little and people would come up and try and touch them. I'd be like, do not. I'm a gob on a stick. I did not mind calling them out for it. And it makes me sad that some people would be so uncomfortable by it but wouldn't have confidence to stand up for themselves about it as well. So then down in the comments, Refrigerator Rare 4463 says, I hated it when random people would pet my dog. My dog is private property, not a public petting zoo. Hands off. And then Crazy Reader 1234 says, that's like random people touching a baby. Ask permission. Exactly. All dogs need to be walked. You know, some might be fine on the lead with their owner, but then get aggressive if someone come up and try to touch them. Then they'd be like, oh, your dog bit me. Why, you shouldn't be bringing this dog out. I'm sorry, but at what point do people start using fucking common sense? Don't go and try and touch a random dog. And if you do, and it bites you, well, that was your fault because they were on a lead and they wouldn't have come anywhere near you if you hadn't have actively sought them out like some heat-seeking idiot. This post was shared by Nacho Daddy 3. Entitled Dad yelled at me for not immediately returning his kid's soccer ball that keeps landing in my yard. I rent a small house with a fenced backyard. I work from home, so I'm usually around during the day. For the past few months, though, it feels like I've been living next to a one-kid soccer academy run by pure chaos. My neighbour's kid, around 10, constantly kicks his soccer ball over my fence. Multiple times a day. At first, I didn't care. Kids play. Accidents happen. I'd just toss it back. But then it started happening every single day. Sometimes before 8 AM, sometimes while I'm on work calls. Once the ball even hit my patio chair while I was sitting outside. So I decided to stop throwing it back immediately. I figured maybe if it took a while, the kid would learn to control his kicks. Apparently, that was the wrong move. Now every time it happens, the dad comes to my door like clockwork, knocking like a debt collector and demanding, can you throw the ball back? No hello, no apology, just attitude. Like it's my fault his kids can't aim. Last weekend it escalated. I was outside gardening when the ball came flying over again and smacked into one of my plants. I didn't throw it back right away, and a few minutes later the dad storms out yelling over the fence, you can't just keep my kid's property, that's stealing. I told him, then keep your kid's property out of my yard. This man turned red, full on furious. He started ranting about how I'm a terrible neighbour and unfriendly to children. He even threatened to call the police over a $10 soccer ball. I said, go ahead. I'll show them the 5 other times this week your kid's ball hit my yard. He stomped off muttering something about respect. So, now I have 2 soccer balls sitting by my shed, and if one more flies over, the dog is getting a new chew toy. Yeah, I totally get that. Like, if it's only now and then, you wouldn't mind, would you? But when it's constantly, It makes you wonder if the kids are starting to do it on purpose because they know that dad's going to go storming round and demanding it back. And they seem to, maybe think that's funny or something? I don't know. But yeah, no, that would really annoy me as well if it was constantly happening, like every single bloody day. Drive me mad. And if my kids were doing that to somebody else, I would not be very happy. I'd be like, no, either you learn to not aim it towards the next door neighbour's garden or you don't play with the ball outside. As simple as that. So, down in the comments, No Entertainment 670 says, used to live next door to a family of 5 and the 2 boys always kicked their ball into my yard. I'd throw it back over each time I was outside. Once I wasn't out in the yard because I wasn't feeling too well. The 2 brothers came over and the youngest of the 2 was banging on my door like he was the popo. I opened my door and the little boy said, "It took you long enough to open the door." Before he could finish telling me about their ball, I shut the door in the kids' faces. Wow. Brutal. The little one goes running home telling his parents. The older boy was laughing hysterically. A few moments later, and the dad came over and started banging on my door. The moment I opened the door, he started yelling at me. I shut the door in his face. That was the last time the boys ever kicked the ball over my fence. Edited to add, the dad saw me out in the yard and tried to start his shit again. I looked at him and said, "You want respect? Then give respect to people in return." Flipped him off and went back inside. I don't put up with someone yelling at me for no reason. And I will match that person's energy. When I'm that mad, I don't care what comes out of my mouth. Again, especially when I didn't deserve to be yelled at. So, next post by Minted Skies. My stepmom told my dad he had to choose between her and me for game night. Oh, goody. One of these. For context, I, 24F, have this little tradition with my dad. Every other Friday, I go over to his house for game night. It started when I was 12 and going through a rough patch, and it's just stuck. It's not some huge event. We order cheap pizza, play Uno or Scrabble, and talk about life. It's honestly one of the few things that still makes me feel like a kid in a good way. Enter my stepmom. She's never been outright evil, mostly just a chronic eye roller, who thinks anything that isn't about her is a personal inconvenience. Oh god. She'll make passive-aggressive comments sometimes, but nothing explosive. Until this week. I show up with a bag of snacks like I always do. My dad is setting up the cards. Everything's normal. Then my stepmom walks in with this "I'm about to ruin the vibe" expression. She looks at the table and goes, "Are we seriously doing this again?" My dad's like, "It's Friday," in the most confused dad voice ever. She sighs dramatically and goes, "I think it's time you chose how you want to spend your Friday nights, with me or doing this childish routine with her. Sorry, stepmom, but kids will win every time." Like, what does she expect? Her, as in me, his daughter, the one he raised mostly by himself before she even existed in his life? My dad and I both just blinked because what do you even say to that? He goes, "It's 2 hours every other week." She says, "It's embarrassing, a grown man playing kids games with a grown daughter. It's weird. Uno and Scrabble are for all ages actually, so suck it, woman." I'm sitting there like, girl, this is Uno, not a blood pact. My dad, bless him, sticks up for me and goes, "This isn't a competition." She snaps back with, "It is when she keeps winning." Ma'am, we are playing Uno. Uno! What is this? The championship finals? Then she storms upstairs and refuses to come down. My dad looks so defeated, like he was trying to calculate how Uno somehow turned into a custody battle. We ended up playing anyway, but it was awkward because every few minutes we could hear her passive-aggressively slamming drawers upstairs. When I left, my dad apologised and said, "Sorry I had to see that. I didn't know game night was such a threat." Same, dude. Same. So, down in the comments, Retired Night Shift said, "Good for your dad, and what a childish stepmom." And the Late Commercial 1534 says, "For real, she's acting like it's some reality show drama over a game night." Literally, and it's not even like it's all night, it's like a couple of hours. You would think, if it was me, I'd find that very endearing for, a dad to still want to put that time aside every single week and say, I am concentrating on no one but my kid. Like, I think that's very endearing and very nice, because quite often these days people don't put that kind of time aside for each other, where it is, I am focusing on you. You have my whole attention and nobody else. And what, she can't just go and do her own thing for a bit? Like, if I was a stepmom, I'd be like, sweet, I'm going to go for a candlelit bath. I'm taking in a glass of wine with me. I'm taking snacks, and I'm going to be uninterrupted, and I'm going to take a book, and I'm also going to take a tablet on a stand so I can watch something if I get bored of the book, and I'm going to stew in here until they're done. And I would love that. And I mean stew as in, like, just, float around in the nice hot water, not stew as in seethe, by the way. Like, I don't understand what her problem is. Like, can she not look after herself for a few hours? Jesus. Like, if I was a dad, that would be such a turn off for me. I genuinely would be like, oh, I kind of now look at this woman like just a bit of an annoyance to me. So last post of the day by Banana Bread Booty. My dad said I owed him reimbursement for moving out because I'm taking my stuff with me. Okay, so I finally moved out of my parents' house after college. Nothing dramatic, just got a small apartment with a friend. My dad sees me packing my bedroom furniture and goes, "You're taking that?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is my dresser." He goes, "Well, I bought it, so if you're taking it, you owe me $300. I thought he was joking. Nope, dead serious. The sad thing is, I know multiple people that would have this mindset. They're not people I hang out with, by the way, I just know them. They are not people I keep in my close circles, but there are actually a lot of people I know that would actually be like that and be like, I bought you that furniture, so you're not taking it, you have to buy your own for your new house. And I would just be like, if my kid was moving out, I'd be like, yeah, take it. I don't care. I'm not gonna use it, so why would I say no? He starts listing everything he ever bought me. My childhood bed, my desk I've had since I was 14, the lamp from Walmart, even the curtains. He literally said, those curtains weren't free. You think you just get to walk away with them? My mum stepped in and was like, she is not paying for curtains from 2012. Thank goodness for mum. Because dad has lost his mind. He goes, it's the principle. The principal, I ended up buying my own cheap furniture and leaving everything behind so he couldn't invoice me. Oh my god, he was actually going to invoice you. That's wild. This is your kid. Like, oh, that's crazy. The man texted me later, don't forget you owe me rent for raising you. What? Sir, please. No, you chose to have a kid until they're 18. The act of choosing to bring a child into the world is essentially like saying, I agree to financially provide for you for at least those 18 years until you're an adult. And then obviously a lot of parents will choose to continue to help out their kids then and beyond because they're your kids and you care about them and you want them to be successful in life, and now and then that means getting a little bit of help. But like, I was already side-eyeing this dad because of him saying that he wants her to reimburse for any furniture that she's taking. If it was me, I would, like I say, one, be saying, no, take it, because I'm not exactly going to be using it. And two, I'd want them to take it so that they didn't have to worry about those startup costs, because I had those startup costs of having to buy all the furniture, and it sucks. It leaves you with no money for anything else. It's really hard. And if that furniture's just going to be sat there collecting dust, why wouldn't you want your kid to take it? So it gives them a little bit of a, just a bit of a leg up at the start of their branching out on their own. But then saying you owe me rent for raising you, absolutely not. That is wild right there. That's disgusting behaviour. I can't believe that. Unreal. So, down in the comments, Jocelyn1973 says, don't forget that you are my father and that you had a legal and financial obligation to raise me, because bringing me into the world was your choice, not mine. Exactly. It does baffle me, those sorts of parents that go, I brought you into this world, so you owe me one. Have you seen the mess of this world? Have you seen the state? If I had had a choice, I would have chosen to not come here. Thank you very much. Give me any other one in the universe, not this one. This one's ruined. So solid vomit, then ew. What a gross username. Says, reminds me of a TikTok I saw. Some older woman had been cut off by her kids and she makes content around this subject. I feel I know exactly who you're on about. I think she talks about things they've said to her about their upbringing. In the video, I saw that she was talking about her kids saying that they didn't ask to be born, and she went on this whole rant about how she didn't ask specifically for that child to be born. Wow. Yes, I chose to have a child, but I didn't specifically want you. I was gobsmacked. Like, damn, no wonder your kids hate you, lady. I think I know which one you're on about. Oh, what's her username? She's written a book and everything, hasn't she? I can't remember. I bet one of you will remember. And if you do, put it in the comments because it's going to annoy me now because I can't remember. But I can picture her face and oh my goodness. It's one of those faces that gives you aggressive thoughts. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, maybe even leave a cheeky little comment, that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.